noticed is that every time someone gets pulled over, they gotta pull out a camera. Every time a police pulls somebody over, they got a camera. I guess what? Because the police got a body cam, you the most. Because it's like, I hate seeing like people get pulled over. Like, that's not my business. I don't need to know the situation. You speeding, you this, they pulled you over for no reason. I don't care.
The landscape of media has changed. At one point in time, there was nothing but newspapers. Then there was the TV news. But now, everybody's online, telling this and telling that, giving information, misinformation, misguiding people. So I guess I got to change with the time, because everybody has. And welcome back to Everybody Has a
Podcast.
Ooh, summer edition yet again. I think we're on episode 5 in the summer. And we're officially at dead period with TWSWA Sports. No contact with players, coaches, all that. This is 2 weeks of... And then, but it also coincides with the 4th of July. This year, the country turned 250. You know, we got fireworks shows going on from Arlington and to Millington, Bartlett on July the 2nd. So, time to celebrate the country's birthday. And if you got extra time, you either going on vacation or you catching up on some summer reading. And let's be honest, a lot of people catch up on summer viewing. This is when you go back and watch old shows from your childhood, or for younger people, you rediscover things. I remember when I went through this when I was younger, I found Gidget, the Sally Field show that was in like the 1960s, so in the 90s. It was like, what's this classic relic? Then I discovered Good Times and The Jeffersons and shows that preceded me. Now I realize I'm a middle-aged man because we're sharing Boy Meets World. And they're the same age as me today as I was then. It just brings me back to when I was in junior high school, all that kind of stuff, first love, crushes, all that stuff. What is your impression of Boy Meets World when we watch it every Wednesday night after we wrap up service at church?
Well, I mean, the whole purpose of it is like a coming of age TV show, basically. And I think it's cute. I've always known about Boy Meets World. They would have like reruns of it on like VH1 or Fuse or whatever channel they had it on. So I knew about it. You know, at one point, I low-key still want to. At one point, I wanted to name my daughter Topanga.
Oh yeah, I remember you used to talk about that.
Because I felt like that name was just so beautiful to me. So I was like, and everybody was like, Topanga. Ew, no. I'm like, that's such a beautiful name. Like, what are you talking about? But that's besides the point. So I always knew about it. I just never really fully watched it. But now that I'm watching it, I didn't know about some of the episodes that they had. Like, they talked about you feeling the
Smegs.
Yeah. You know? And I was like, these kids are in middle school. Like, why are they talking about that? Why are they doing a video asking teachers, asking classmates about that? Like, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And, like, I guess also, like, you know, the Halloween episode, I thought it was kind of funny / cute that, you know, him going through puberty, Corey going through puberty, and they made it as if, like, transforming into like a werewolf kind of thing. So I thought that was pretty funny and unique way to, like, you know, teach young boys that's what it feels like to.
So watching it from the beginning and watching them mature and grow up does give it a different effect and different feel. And then it led into not a spin-off, the continuation with Girl Meets World, their daughter.
What is it called?
Girl Meets World, their daughter.
Not a prequel, but like a sequel.
Yeah, I guess a sequel. Like a sequel? Yeah, it continues the story of them.
So I actually watched Girl Meets World, and it has a good theme song.
Well, the Boy Meets World first theme, and see, this is where your generation comes in. You skip the intro. Who does that? You have to watch the theme.
Listen, this is what I do with every show that I binge. I watch the intro one time, and I skip the next time.
Now she does. Now we're at the part of the series where she doesn't have to skip because they did a little mini intro where he just leans on as a cartoon. Long. Yeah, a cartoon him leans on the planet.
And like he kicks it.
Yeah, and then we're going to get back to a theme where they all jump in the car. Boy Meets World, Boy Meets World. And we hadn't gotten to that point yet. You going to skip that too?
I'll probably watch it once and then I'll skip it.
Okay, so that got me to thinking. I was like, well, she's not used to having theme songs growing up, but then she corrected me. Thanks to the Disney and network, Nickelodeon, they did have themes. I guess at this time I'm an adult. Our shows were too risque for them to watch, reality shows and all that. So, but I was too old to be watching iCarly, That's So Raven, Hannah Montana,
Jessie, Good Luck Charlie.
And they have 1 minute theme songs. And she knows the lyrics to these things.
Victorious, Sam and Cat.
So out of all that, which one's the best out of all that?
The best out of all the theme songs. I would probably have to say that's so hard. They're all so good.
We need to wrap up this segment, so I need to pick
I guess the best one. I don't know. I really liked Sam and Cat. We didn't listen to it, but I really liked Sam and Cat. Okay, it's shortish, but it was.
Which network?
Nickelodeon.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to go back.
I'm trying to think. Hannah Montana's take it back. That's So Raven. I'll give it to him. But then Kim Possible. They're all Good Luck Charlie. Has anybody seen my left shoe? Oh my gosh, that's such a good song.
We're just going down a rabbit hole, haven't we? So I was wrong. They did have themes. They were just niche, very niche things. Back when I was coming, we had a theme for every genre, from science fiction to reality-based, like Unsolved Mysteries, which is one of the greatest themes of all time, and Facts of Life for comedy. So every show had to have a theme, and they almost had an orchestra, MacGyver and all that. So I stand corrected. It was an industry. It seemed like it was made by the same company, but they changed it up for each show. It was about the show. Listen to the theme. So
especially Good Luck Charlie one. That one's chef's kiss. I love it.
They had dedicated themes. So
and Kim Possible, it's just the vocals were so good. I'm your basic average girl, and I'm here to save the world. You can't stop me.
We'll be right back while she's still singing. And we're back with recap time. Like I said, dead period high school sports. But in the sporting world, if you're not watching baseball, my Jim Edmonds jersey right here, you might have been watching the NBA draft this past week. And they took the playbook of the NFL. They stretched this bad boy out to make multiple nights and try to make money off of it. Bigger is not always better. Please stop. It's like nobody wants to sit and watch people pick people that long. It's not that crucial. Man, advertising dollars, isn't it? But if it makes money, I guess it makes sense. But the Grizzlies, our NBA team here, end up picking up 3 players. We're going reverse order. In the second round, with the 32nd pick from BYU, I sound like I'm doing the NBA draft. They picked guard 6'5" Richie Saunders. He's about 24, 25 years old, so he's a little bit older for a rookie. But BYU, I think they had to go on a mission trip, the Mormons and all that kind of stuff. So he still must be pretty good for them to pick him up and say, hey, we'll get and mature, grown by. I think we're gonna find this out. With a lot of draft picks in the second round, a lot of them will be older with this NIL. They stay in college longer. So this is not abnormal to pick a 24, 25-year-old guard. But we picked up him. In our middle pick, first round, 21st pick, from Mexico, Karim Lopez. I hope I pronounced or Kareem, but he's Mexican, so we'll check on him.
Can I explain? Can I say something?
You know some information?
I know some information. Okay, so he got drafted by the Pistons. Okay. And so while he's sitting and talking to, I forgot who he was talking to, Iman something, I forgot his name. I know him because Tiana Taylor, that's her ex-husband.
Iman Shumpert.
Yeah, him. Wow. I'm sorry. I used to watch their
NBA
show.
Champion.
I used to watch them their show together, and Lil Judy and all that stuff. I'm sorry, but they were like talking, ESPN or Sports Center, whatever it is. They were talking, and he has the Detroit Piston hat on, and the dude, one of the guys, is like, oh, did you do did you visit the facility? Did y'all have training with Memphis with the Grizzlies? And he's like, who? The Grizzlies. And they you got traded to the Grizzlies. And he's like, I got a Detroit Piston hat on right now. And they were like, no, you got traded to the Grizzlies. And so he was like, okay, let me turn this hat around, because I did not know that. Yeah. So a lot of people were talking about how that was like unprofessional and that they need to stop trading mid-draft and all this stuff.
Or make sure he's doing a presser, he just doesn't have a hat. But that's part. Now you have your suit on, your hat. You've been growing up, you watch all the greats do it. Allen Iverson had his hat on. Yeah. Chris Webber had his hat on. Penny Hardaway. All of them had their hat on with their suit when they're doing it.
Because it's just like when you get drafted, you throw the hat on, you get up there.
That's one of the moments. Yeah, you shake the commissioner's hand.
And honestly, he had his hat on. He was so emotional that he got drafted to the Pistons. All that stuff.
They were the number one seed in the East this past year. So
thankful and all that stuff.
He goes from a competitive team to a team that's not competitive right now.
Yeah,
that's kind of emotional.
So, I mean, no, he was emotional when he got drafted.
But now he's going to a losing team.
Yeah, he's finding out that he's a Grizzly. And then especially after what LeBron James did.
What did LeBron told us?
He might as well have squatted right on top of the city of Memphis and take a big number 2. Because that's what he did to Memphis. He talked about us. Okay, that's basically what he did. And he joked about it, and then everybody has to bring clips from other people talking about, oh, I don't like Memphis. All these other players, I don't like Memphis. I don't like Memphis. And not only did he say that, he said if they would have drafted me, I would have pulled a Eli Manning and not show up. So what do you think that message, the GOAT, LeBron James, don't even want to get drafted to Memphis? What do you think other people who look up to him gonna feel?
Like they're gonna go to a city that needs to get better and improve. And so we welcome our number 1 pick, who was a star in college. Hopefully he can make it home. Hopefully he will want to stay, and hopefully he can make us better, not only on the court but as a city. And I think he has the pedigree. Mr. Cameron Boozer, who Dad Carlos Boozer played when I was coming up in Duke. Both played at Duke. He was the number 3rd pick overall, 6'10". He's more athletic than his dad, and his dad was a pretty decent one-time All-Star in the NBA. So if he can prove over his dad. But this is all cloaked by the dark cloud of Ja staying or leaving. And the way the trade market is drying up for Ja, we don't know what's going to end up happening. Could Ja stay and make this situation better, be professional, and make these younger players better? That's what you hope. But if he's so passionately bent on leaving Memphis, don't be in the place you don't want to be in after you've been here.
And it's not just that. You gotta give Ja some grace, because although yes, he has put himself in a terrible position holding up guns and freaking clubs, but I just feel like also they traded all the people that he came in there with. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's part of it. But when you have a brotherhood and then you got to get used to so many new faces all the time, you start to fall out of love for the game. Shoot, me, when I worked at, next door at an animal hospital, there was new people every month. I'm just like, oh, I get close to somebody, they gone. I'm like, I don't even want to play I don't even want to do this no more.
But if you are the divisive person, the person that's causing the friction,
I mean,
how much sympathy can we have for you?
But also, why is he acting out? Maybe he's acting out to get traded because he doesn't like being there anymore.
And
those are possibilities.
And maybe you're the reason why all the others wanted to leave or asked to be traded. Then you try to hightail it. Yeah, that's not very professional either. It goes both ways. So it's a lot of layers when it comes to like sports, like who calls it. In the NBA, the superstar's supposed to run the team. At least that's what they think. So you come to me first. And when the Grizzlies didn't come to him first on things, he felt like he was disrespected. But yeah, I do remember when we hung up that championship. Wait, we hadn't won a championship with you yet, Ja. Yeah, I remember that time when he got us to we hadn't been to the finals with you, Ja. so
injuries, and suspensions.
Yeah.
So he hasn't been putting any proof in the pudding.
Yeah, LeBron, Jordan, all those great Allen, they kind of had the cachet and the pedigree and the resume to go up to the front office and say, I want this around me. Giannis, Milwaukee did all they could. Now they had to trade him to Miami. But for years he was the spoon that stirred the coffee up in Milwaukee, or the beer, because we're in Milwaukee. So but they said we can't do it anymore, and now we're going to restart up. They hope they draft the next Giannis so they can do it all over again. We drafted a superstar, but he did not keep himself in that elite status. he reached a scenic peak and then crashed.
Can we blame Memphis for how he's turned out? Can we blame the environment that he's in?
Yeah, we even made his dad a hip hop star. Like T. Morant, Usher Jr., we made him a hip hop star, so I guess you can just blame it all on Memphis. But let's hope our fresh faces, the 3 young men that we drafted, will be a sign of great things to come. We can hold on to our Grizzlies down the line and start to build around them, because we do need that centerpiece in our city. And we'll be back with our next segment. And we're back with Sights and Sounds. And, okay, once again, stop me if you heard this. We're in the dead of the summer. Although summer just started when it comes to sports and things like that. So you're finding your way, entertain yourself through other avenues. And I admit it, I gotta confess, through YouTube mainly, because YouTube takes the TikToks, the Instagram, the Twitter posts or X, and bring them to me and present it to me. And I sit there and I digest it when people that I never met talk about topics from Carmelo and the Austin Metcalf situation, you name it, I'm watching, going down the cesspool. And then there are some things that come in there where I see people about to do crimes and they're recording it. And it got me to thinking, we have a problem with oversharing. We put way too much online. What are we seeking? Fame, recognition, just attention? But we overshare too much. And before we break down the 4 major symptoms of the sights and sounds that we see with people oversharing, I gotta ask my daughter this question. Do you think we overshare too much?
Yeah.
Okay.
This generation is a generation of content creators. Everything is content. This is content.
Folks my age are doing
everybody thinks, yeah.
So yeah, we jumped on the bandwagon.
Just like content creators is not, it's not an age. It's just right now this generation of people. Like, you know what I'm saying? Gen
X, Gen Y, Gen Z.
All the generation are content creators. So it's just, since this generation that we're living in now is a generation of content creators, so many people, let me record this. This is content. Let me record that. This is content. So that's why we overshare so much, because everything is content now.
This is going to sound horrible to say, but I hope y'all understand where I'm coming from. With the Carmelo Anthony Austin Metcalf situation down in Texas, the reason why there's so much scrutiny and so many different versions of it, and it made me happy to say this, everybody didn't pull out their phone to record. They tried to help save his life during that time. Their first instinct was to save their friend. The only recording came from the device that's supposed to record things from across the stadium.
The camera.
And that's the footage of that.
Security cameras.
Yeah, but there's a lot of times where people are dying and going through horrible life or death situations, and people are pulling out their phones to record. I'm like, that's your first instinct? But these young kids who are all 16, 17, 18 years old, their first instinct was human. And that's kind of refreshing. Although we lost a precious life, that was refreshing. What really gets on
my nerves is that every time someone gets pulled over, they gotta pull out a camera. Every time a police pulls somebody over, they got a camera. I guess what? Because the police got a body cam, you gotta have a cam.
His body cam might be edited and might show a different and might lie. Yeah, his technology of recording the exact same event might be screwed.
I hate that. I hate that one the most, because it's like, I hate seeing like people get pulled over. Like, that's not my business. I don't need to know the situation. You speeding, you this, they pulled you over for no reason. I don't care.
What it ended up doing is giving the person this false sense of security, and that's why they start performing for that camera.
They act a fool, and it escalates things to a whole nother level. And now you in jail when you could have just got a ticket.
And most of the times when we watch the footage, you look like you're in the wrong.
Yes.
You look like you're
instigated. You're the idiot. Just don't pull your phone out. Just take your ticket and keep moving.
A lot of times we see like, man, that officer has a lot of patience.
He put up with all that. He keep asking, especially when people refuse to give their license and registration. I just like, just give the dang license. Just give them your identity. It's just, you pull a card out. It's not that hard. And then now you just took something that he probably wasn't even going to give you a ticket. He just needed to identify you. And now you're refusing. That's suspicious. And now you escalating this situation to something way more serious than it was supposed to be.
But so many people have been rewarded financially. There have been a few deaths, but a lot have got in a lawsuit. So they trying to chase attention, fame, and get that payday. But real quick, I will share with the public that they said there are 4 symptoms of oversharing. And do you fall in these categories? And if you do, maybe you should turn your phone off or not record yourself. So the first one is trauma dumping, which I think is very common. Some people, it's their therapy. Instead of going to a counselor or a psychologist or to get some help, they just turn on their camera and just start pouring out their emotions of what they're going through, from a divorce to a death of a loved one. It's like, okay, I guess that's what we're here for.
Breakup or something actually serious like SA and stuff like that, or eating disorders. I hear it all. So so it's a lot of deep stuff that be on the internet.
Okay, another one is, they said, sad fishing. You're basically looking, you're creating a sad, or you're taking the most depressing thing in your life and throwing a line out there to hook people in so you can basically get attention. I think also, as a journalist, I know a lot of people, as soon as something bad happens in the world, people want to turn their camera and become experts and want to talk on the topic, especially when it's controversial, like the aforementioned one down in Texas, or Israel, or the president, just anything, and they got to put their 2 cents on it. And then they wonder how they lose a job or affects in their everyday life because somebody out there might not like your opinion. So you don't have to share on everything that's going on. Sometimes you just need to sit on the sideline, keep your opinion to yourself, be quiet. That's what your gym's for. People you like, and then you can deny it if they say, "Yeah, I heard him say that." No, I didn't. But if I got you on camera
in 4K,
yeah, I can just replay it in slow motion, and I can use it for content. So sad fishing, a lot of people I think do that as well. Number 3 is performative emotions. Some people are staging these things. Let's just be honest. You had people lie about a divorce, a breakup. You know, we talked about the NBA, and now one of the top stars in the NBA is LeVar Ball, who I think he never played in the NBA, but his sons play, and he's going through a divorce.
You want to know the craziest one I heard? This girl faked a pregnancy to the point that she bought, it's a documentary, that she bought a fake belly from Amazon, and she ended up
murdering somebody,
taking somebody's baby.
That's happened a few times. That's a very
and it's like, you go like, and this one girl talked about when she watched the documentary. She was like, yeah, she heard people, girls faking their pregnancies, but never going all the way full term.
See, here's the difference from in the past to today. In the 90s, women did that, but they lied to their immediate circle, had a fake stomach. They didn't have to put anything online. So when they knew the 9th month, they would dress like a nurse, go to a hospital, fake being a nurse, because they didn't have strict security. I'm not making this up. And then some woman have a baby, like, oh, I'm your nurse. Then they driving off with your baby. And then we talked the infamous case of the little black girl that met her mom 18 years later, taken from her dad. This and that situation like that happened.
And she had beef with her own biological mom.
And loved her fake mom, who was her mom. So that's how it happened back then. But now,
I would crash out if that was my daughter.
But now that we're online, a lot of these women are posting sonograms that they buy. They have to keep this story up. So everybody's waiting for them to deliver a baby. So they have to find a victim who's also posted her stuff.
But not that. No, they don't find a victim. They lie and say that they had a miscarriage.
Some do that.
That is like, that is the most disrespecting part. Because there's women who actually experience
Sweetie, go look it up. Some have killed a woman, took her baby.
Oh no, I know.
Okay.
I just said that.
Okay. I'm just saying. Okay.
There's a document. I don't know if I didn't watch the documentary. I don't know if she killed the lady or what, but she took somebody's baby.
Usually they take the baby out of them. They don't know if they do kill the mother.
But I don't know if they kill. I don't know what the situation was. She just said she gave birth on the side of the road, and she brought this baby to them, and then she told them not to check her. And I'm like, and the girl said, as someone who's given birth before, I know she didn't give birth because she was able to put pants on. And I saw a video of a woman. I saw a woman who gave birth outside on her front porch. And you want to know something? She laid out on the ground with the baby in her hands. Her husband's recording this, oversharing, and she's naked. You can tell she's naked because you see straight skin, but she's like covered with something, and she's got her little toddler is walking around confused while this lady's half naked on her front porch with a newborn baby in her arms.
Yeah, the first 3 that we shared: trauma dumping, sad fishing, and performative emotions. One case is anonymous and it gets all 3 of these in one little bucket. The DoorDash girl. When you just had to record some dude drunk, laid out half naked on in his own room, in his living room, who ordered his food to help with his hangover and said, leave it on the porch, please. But you had to record it and you're the victim. All that. That's a scenario. So it's from fake pregnancies to doing your job and oversharing there. That's why a lot of people are fired from Amazon to this day, because they are these conditions on the job. People doing trends and stuff. They got to do the dances at their work. Yes. We're just having a good old planking.
Don't do this stuff at your job.
And lastly, not having a filter. You're immediately not having a filter. Yes. So that goes back to what I was kind of touching on with everybody being a journalist. Oh, I just saw this happen. Let me give my 2 cents. You know, what if, let's say, I just had to jump online and say, we drafted Cameron Booz, and I just go off and saying stuff. And then a couple years down the line, the Grizzlies called me and say, hey, Thomas, we want to hire you, and da-da-da, this and that. Then they go like, wait, whoa, you criticized us on the Cameron Boozer thing. This and that. He ain't played the game yet. We're not going to hire you now. We're going to pick the next guy.
Not even that. There are people who do really disgusting things, and they just admit it like it's normal.
Yeah, without
like, this is okay. Like, this is okay behavior. Oh, I stole my friend's man. I stole my. Do you think that's cool? Like, that's okay? You did that? That's gross.
We have no shame. That's
shame. Just gross. You saying it's like it's okay?
Shame makes us have a filter. So if I have no shame in what I'm doing, I'm going to break. But our celebrities, they have done this for the last few years because they trying to get clicks. They're trying to move the algorithm. Lizzo's finding that out because her album just, I think, only sold like 2 or 3 copies, and now she realizing what happened. This and that. You have overshared too much. Now you shared your weight loss journey. A lot of people don't like that because you brag too much on being big. So it's like, which one is it? Mm-hmm. So they don't know which camp that you are truly faithful to. So we are overshared too much in our society, and I just want to just point that out because it's just too much going on in this world, and I'm oversharing right now. We're back to close out this week's episode, and like I said, we're getting ready for America's 250th, a grand celebration. I hope everybody try to enjoy this once in a lifetime moment. I wasn't alive 50 years ago for the bicentennial. I was born in 81. This is actually happening in my lifetime, Lord's willing. I hope to see next Saturday and the 4th and enjoy it and share, this country's milestone. But saying that, when you praise this country too much, which I think this is the greatest country in the world, people start to wag their finger at you and be like, yes, I do. And you want to know how I'm going to prove it? If you pick up this week's Millington Star, you're going to see my top 10 black eyes or cracked eggs, because to make an omelet, omelets are delicious. You have to crack some eggs and chop up some ingredients, and it's going to be some painful process. And America has endured a lot of painful things. So here, I didn't rank them in any particular order because that would do injustice to all the things that happen in this country. And I had to leave some things off, but these are the top 10 moments or moments that I want to recognize that were black eyes on our legacy as America. The transatlantic slave trade that went from 1619 to 1865 has given us Juneteenth, where a lot of African people from Africa were brought to this country and put in enslavement. So, but it was a slave trade, so a lot of individuals are involved. Next on the list is the Trail of Tears. So the people who are already here, who lived here, had to be moved. They were moved forcefully. They were given smallpox and so many tragic things that happened to the Native Americans in this country. They fought wars, so they did not give it up. They went back at the colonizers, as the kids like to say today, the ones who are trying to sell their land.
That's what it is called. Not what the kids call it, it's what the historians call it.
Actually, we just call them settlers. We were being nice to them back then. So colonizers is more.
Well, they made colonies. So
that's more accurate. Yeah, I'm saying that's more accurate. When you take over another land, you're colonizing it. So that is more accurate. But it does have negative connotations now.
Settlers would too.
Yeah, it's too close to my last name. That's why I'm glad they changed it. Okay, the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. Ooh. So you were Asian looking. They were pretty much. President Chester A. Arthur was pretty much going to hem you up and didn't want you over here, and that was right after the gold rush, 1849, hence the 49ers, and the Asians came over and settled. But he's like, y'all go back. So that was kind of mean. And then we heard a lot about this in the recent years, the Jim Crow era. That was late 19th century up to 1965 with the Civil Rights Act. Then another thing that has a mythical background too, but needs more vetting now, is the Tulsa Race Massacre, May 30th to June 1st. Why did it start? It was a situation between a black man and a white woman. But what happened was the industrial financial center of the black people of Tulsa was ravaged and burned down, torn up, and it has become one of those tales that shows the race relation between blacks and whites in our country, especially back in that day. Then the internment of the Japanese Americans during World War II. A lot of people that look like you bombed Pearl Harbor. Were you behind it? Do you know them? They're your cousins. And the Japanese people here like, who, what, when, where? But okay, we putting y'all in camps. We're gonna literally lock y'all up. Wow. And they did this in 1942. This ain't even been 100 years ago. Okay, another one that lasts from 1932 to 1972. The Tuskegee syphilis study. It was a study. So I'm glad I wasn't a black man living back then.
Oh, they gave them syphilis.
Yes, it was a study. And they used a nurse, a black woman that lulled them in. And the men, us black men, we see a pretty woman, we'll do whatever she say. Come take this shot. Okay, baby. And yeah, they end up, yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah, very sad. But they made a movie on HBO, Mrs. Evers' Boys, I think, where there was some who tried to help them and all that kind of stuff. So very dark black eye right there. Then the Malay massacre. Malay massacre. Yeah, she's in Asian studies. March 16, 1968. That took place overseas involving the U.S. forces, but it once again just shows you the negative relations that we have with our Asian brethren and sisters. So this and that. So. Wow. Okay. Then the Battle of Wounded Knee, that massacre, December 29, 1890, that goes back to the natives still trying to put up a fight for their land, especially up north in the Dakotas. And last I have on here, and this is what we can remember during her lifetime. She don't remember, but we all can remember this. We're a little bit older. The federal response to Hurricane Katrina back in 2005, where we let a whole city drown and a bunch of people in the city like, good luck. We literally, and we're watching this on TV. We're watching this as it's happening. Technology has grown to the point, and we're literally watching our government like, what we're supposed to do. And so that has changed a lot of things with our federal response. There's a few people from a couple years ago with the hurricanes and stuff, be like, hey, can you put us on the list? They just did it to us too. So I guess we hadn't really learned our lesson. We're not going to be a perfect country, a perfect union, but we had to acknowledge the bad past so we won't be doing it repeated. That's why I think it's important that we don't run from it, but we learn from it. So out of those 10 events, anything stick out to you?
I don't know. I mean,
they're all pretty bad.
Yeah, they're all pretty bad, especially the syphilis one. Like, why would you give someone a disease? Like, well, is syphilis a disease? What is it? A virus?
Yeah, it's a sexually transmitted disease, I think. So
is it a disease? Because I'm pretty sure it's curable. I don't know if it was curable back then.
Or it could cause a lot of health effects and long-term effects. Yeah,
because I've heard about people, especially like I said, reality TV. There's been people they talk about they got to you know what I'm saying, and they just take this medicine and then it's like gone or whatever. Yeah. So. But back then it was probably bad because
Well, my thing is to wrap up. I would just encourage everybody that if you read this, go study it and get more details. And it's kind of like reading the Bible. Study for yourself to be approved, because it's not like I'm attacking the country or anything like that. But it's just a honest to God truth of things that happen that have been documented. I'm sure there was a reason, a method to the madness. And I know it kind of if you're looking at the list, like, okay, you got blacks, you got Native Americans, you got Asian. Then they have to the white people over here. The Dust Bowl. It's a whole bunch of things that hurt white Americans. The immigration policies at Ellis Island.
With America, a lot of people see America as like a white country, but it's not. It's obviously not a white country. The reason why America is so special is because we have everybody over here. We got Asians, we got Hispanic, we got white, black, we got all these different, we got every single race, every single country has probably come over here and has become an American. Like, we have everybody. We're a melting pot. So I feel like not that the things that have happened to the white people in America isn't important. It's just that the things that happen to the people of color in this country is really what made America what it is, because these people can suffer and go through all these hardships and still stay and still be proud of their country and still add to the country. So That's what I feel about it.
And I'll close out by saying this, and I got to echo the sentiments of my daughter here. You go to the South, you see the influence of black people from Atlanta to Memphis, St. Louis, us making America our home. You go to the Southwest and the Hispanic population, the Mexican American War, the Alamo, and all those things, and you see the influential people of Hispanic descent in that part of the country. Go out to the coast, the gold rush of 1849, and the Asian Americans coming, settling there, and making industry there, feeding the people who come there to mine gold, and go to Chinatown in San Francisco now. It's still there. Then you go up to the New York area, the Italian Americans that settle there, best pizza in the world, they'll tell you all day is them.
Italy, they got a Chinatown, they got a Koreatown.
And then those brave colonizers, as they call them, who went out west and settled the West, and you go from Denver to Montana and all those places, those cowboys, Wyoming and all that. No, that's just a flat land. That's just flat land.
Well, I know
but they formed there, and our farmers, who tend to mostly be white, are the backbone of our country. Because I love to eat, I love my bread, I love my pasta, and this and that. And I'm glad that they instructed family values and a work ethic that still permeates today. They had to rebuild after every tornado. But that's
we need our white Americans.
We need all Americans, and we'll see you.
All our Americans.
We'll see you next week. Man, where is this girl? Liyah, where are you?
I'm in Chattanooga trying to fit in one more vacation.
Vacation? We've got games to cover. No offense to Saudi Daisy, Baylor, Farragut, but we're not East Tennessee, we're West 10 Media.
Okay, I'm on the way back now.
Great. West Tennessee, we try to make sure we got you covered. Now you need to cover us by hitting that like button, subscribing to the channel, leave a comment, and hit the bell.